Let's talk about the weekly recap. I'm Ryan Buehler, and today I'm going to be flying solo, and I'm going to be only talking about a couple things. I did watch Judas and the Black Messiah this week, but Doubtful couldn't make it for this video, and so we're going to save that for next week. But this week I did watch the movie Spontaneous, and I felt like this would be a good opportunity to talk about Disenchantment Season 3, and there's a couple other things that I'll talk about at the end. So, I'm going to start off with Spontaneous. So, I want to have a shout out to the YouTuber W. Lee. Thank you for commenting on my last video. W. Lee suggested watching this movie, and they said to not watch the trailer or read the reviews. So I just went into this movie blind, not really knowing what it was, and I'm really glad that I did, and I would definitely recommend doing the same thing. Spontaneous is a 2020 film directed by Brian Duffield, and it stars Catherine Langford, who starred in 13 Reasons Why, and Charlie Plummer. So this actually turned out to be my romance movie for Valentine's Day. I had like 10 romance movies I wanted to watch this month, but it just didn't work out that way. But I'm really glad that I did give this movie a check out because it's really unique and special. It is based off of a novel, which is pretty cool. Usually those movies tend to be really good. I don't want to give anything away because this movie is very shocking. Very shocking. Especially if you don't know what it's about. I watched this movie going in completely blind because that's what W. Lee told me to do. And I think that just helped amplify the experience. And it just really leaves you with your jaw on the floor. And I want you guys to have that same experience. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. All I'm going to say is that the film follows two seniors, Dylan and Mara, who experience a life-changing event that makes them struggle to survive in a world where each moment could be their last. It feels almost like a sci-fi end-of-the-world movie, but it's just a romance story in high school. They do a really good job blending those two completely different genres together. And they do it in a very self-contained way, and I always appreciate that because I feel like it always amplifies the story and the characters. And both of the leads, I think, did a great job. Very awkward and funny, and it was good. You felt like the characters were real. I really liked this movie. It was a blast, it was funny, and it was very shocking. I would definitely find myself recommending this film to others. It was just such a unique experience, and I'm pretty sure there isn't a movie out there that's like this. I love movies that are able to achieve that originality. Thank you, W. Lee, for recommending this film. The only critique I have, it's completely fine to have views from the outside world put into your movies, but I don't like it when it's bombarding. So if you look at a movie with a racist character, they say racist things. That doesn't mean that the movie crew believe in racism and that's their belief. That's just the character's belief, and it's understandable that each character in a movie or show have different beliefs that people might not agree with. That's understandable, and it's perfectly fine to showcase your beliefs in movies. And there's two comments at the beginning of this movie that I was like, oh, okay, that was a good way of saying it. It was a joke, but then we got to a point where they just were pretty spontaneous, no pun intended, on showcasing their political views. And according to Hollywood, it is okay to bash, he's not our president anymore, but the president of the United States, Donald Trump. And it's okay to have your views on things, and I respect you showcasing your opinion. But I did not like because they make 4 comments in the movie. The first 2, I was like, okay, that works. That's a funny joke. But the second 2 times, I was like, that's just obnoxious. Even if you look at the movie Borat 2, you know the viewpoint of that movie. It's going to be racist. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to make people mad. And you knew, because Borat himself is a Democrat and doesn't like Republicans. So you knew that was going to be showcased in the movie, but they still did a really creative job on how they were going to showcase it. It wasn't blatantly obvious, like, oh, we hate this person, blah, 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 blah. They did it in a way that was humorous and insulting at the same time, and it worked. This movie is literally just, I hate Donald Trump, and I don't know, I don't see what purpose. That didn't add anything to the movie. But enough about politics. I don't like talking about it. But I felt like it just didn't add anything to the movie. And it's just going to aggravate people who are Republicans and believe that. Anyways, enough about that. I'm going to move on to Disenchantment, which is a TV series that started in 2018 on Netflix. And it is created by Matt Groening. He does The Simpsons, and this is his new show. And honestly, I absolutely love this series so far. The description for this show is Princess Tiabini Bean is annoyed at her imminent arranged marriage to Prince Merkimer. Then she meets Lucy, a demon, and Elfo, an elf, and things get rather exciting and dangerous. That's the description on IMDb. So this whole show is a medieval animated series, and you're just following Princess Bean, who is a princess, but she doesn't follow in the usual cookie cutter aspects of being a princess. She hates having her hair up. She hates being like respectful and talking nicely. She likes expressing how she feels. She's a drunk. She likes taking drugs. She's definitely an unconventional princess. I mean, it just makes this show a blast. Elfo and Lucy, the demon and the elf, are like the demon and the angel on your shoulders. So that's a good dynamic, and they're just really a blast to watch. The show is absolutely hilarious, and I believe that the show just keeps getting better and better with each season. Season 3, personally, I feel like was the funniest season just because of there's certain aspects of King Zog's character that were just hilarious every time that it came up. But overall, I think Abby Jacobson, Eric Andre, and Matt Faxon, the three leads of the series, do a fantastic job voice acting. And I cannot wait for Season 4 because this show loves ending off with cliffhangers, and Season 3 is no exception. Yeah, I just think this is a blast, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who enjoys The Simpsons or really any kind of entertainment because it's just so much fun. There's dark humor. It takes that kind of element from Rick and Morty, but not as much. It has a good blend. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I love it. I also wanted to real quick talk about Euphoria because 2 weeks ago we talked about Euphoria on the channel and I didn't finish season 1 and I just did, and I just wanted to comment. Episode 7 and 8 were fantastic episodes. I think episode 7 is my favorite. Minor spoiler if you don't want to hear, skip this part, but there's an aspect of episode 7 where the lead Rue, played by Zendaya, acts like she is a detective in a high school, and it's honestly hilarious and just amazing, because she's like wearing the costume of being a detective and everybody else is, and she's acting like she's trying to solve a case, and it was honestly a blast to watch, and I would totally watch a spin-off show where it's completely just her pretending to be a detective in high school. That would just be a blast in my opinion. And episode 8 ended off very strangely, and I'm very curious to see what is going to happen because I still have the two specials to watch on HBO Max. So I'll let you know my thoughts when I get to that. WandaVision, episode 6 came out this past weekend, and there's a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about too much because I think it would be more fun to talk about with the boys. So we'll maybe do that next week or when the show concludes. But if you didn't know, the next 3 episodes of WandaVision are going to be an hour long each, so I'm sure it's going to get huge. The show is going to have some crazy stuff happening. But in episode 6, the only thing I want to comment is the minor throwaway, I guess not really a throwaway line, when they comment that Monica Rambeau cannot go back into the Hex because her DNA is being changed from the Hex itself, the radiation. I paused the episode and I started freaking out. Because Monica Rambeau is a superhero in the comics, so it makes sense they're going to have her develop superpowers. But I do believe that this is going to be the way they explained the mutants, because they're not a part of the MCU yet. This is how they do it. In the next episode, or whatever episode leading up to the end, Wanda loses control and makes the Hex cover the whole planet Earth and mutates everybody. Not everybody develops superpowers, but a lot of people do, developing the mutants of the world in the MCU. Boom, roasted. I just think that is the best way to develop the mutants into the MCU without crossing universes and just having the characters from the other universe coming in and being like, oh, hey, we're mutants. So I'm assuming that's probably what they're going to do. In this episode, we do see Wanda move the hex farther out, so she has the ability to do that, and if she completely loses control, I believe she could cover the whole planet. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple episodes. I'm absolutely in love with this series. I just want to see more Wanda. She's OP, and I love everything about her character at this point. So we'll see what happens. Real quick before I forget, another big thing that happened this week, we did get the official trailer for the Snyder Cut that's coming out in mid-March. This is a re-release of the movie Justice League, if you don't know. Zack Snyder left in the middle of production for personal reasons, and Joss Whedon came in and changed elements of the movie and reshot things. And we've been begging for a Snyder Cut version of it to be released, and it's finally coming. It's coming to HBO Max exclusively, March 19th, I want to say. And it's going to be a 4-part movie where it's 1 hour each, so it's going to be a 4-hour-long version of the Justice League with all of the footage that was cut from the movie originally, and I do believe there was a couple things reshot for the film. So I'm really excited to see what we get. The new trailer that we did see, it's hard to get excited because we've seen parts of this movie already, so there's elements in the trailer that we've already seen. But if you haven't seen the trailer yet, go check it out. But in this trailer, we do get to see the showcase of Superman in his full black suit, which is amazing and what we really wanted in this movie. So can't wait to see that. And the end of the trailer, we did finally get to see Jared Leto, Joker, in the Nightmare sequence. We did see promotional pictures of him in this new look this past week. And I was super hype about it. And now seeing him in the costume and talking to Batman, I think Jared Leto is a great actor to portray Joker. And I can't wait to see him fully showcase his abilities as Joker, because I still believe that he did a good job as Joker in Suicide Squad, even if he was such a small role. And I think he's going to do a fantastic job in this movie, however big of a role he does play. It's going to be great to see him. And everything else in the trailer, we get to see Darkseid, full Darkseid. Very exciting stuff, very intimidating. Cannot wait to see him in action. I'm super excited for this movie, in quotation marks, movie, to come out. Cannot wait. Even though I haven't really been too big of a fan of Snyder's other DC Extended Universe movies, he is a great director. He did a phenomenal job on 300 and Watchmen. So I believe he's going to give us a great movie. It might not be the best movie, but it's still probably going to be better than the one that we got originally. So we'll see what happens. Next week, it seems like Nomadland comes out in theaters. We'll see if I'll be able to get the chance to go check that one out. And we'll talk about Judas and the Black Messiah, which is on HBO Max. And we'll see what else we get the chance to check out this week. Maybe I'll be able to finish Euphoria and wrap that up for next week's video. If you haven't checked it out yet, I do have a romance movie recommendation on the channel. That was last week's, or I posted that Friday? Yeah, I think I posted that Friday. That's crazy. The newest episode stars my girlfriend Kelsey. If you want to get some movie recommendations for romance films, because it's still the month of February, you can still enjoy romance movies. So yeah, that's all for this week. It's been Ryan Buehler. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one and enjoy movies.